Welcome to another episode of Middle Ground with JLE, where we treat you like family. That's the theme song Detroit Love off my first album, The JLE Experience. Owning music and copyright. Don't mean on Facebook. Another great guest for you in this season 12. I have a fellow Wayne State University and Mike Ilitch School of Business alum. And also, he was my professor fall 2018 in Global Supply Chain. Assistant Professor of Teaching, Dr. Jeff Rightmer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you for doing it, man. It was kind of cool. Like, oh, he was my teacher too. You was that dude with them study guys, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Real MVP. What you study was on the test. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Ain't no surprises. None of that craziness. All right. First question. What led you to this path?
I think it was the Grateful Dead. What a long, strange trip it has been.
Nice.
and it has. I look back on it and I often wonder how the heck I ended up here. But I look at all those 20 plus years of business, and the last probably 3 of it, I knew I wasn't happy. Okay. And I just went, one of my professors that I got my master's at Lawrence Tech said, "You're really good at speaking. You're really good at teaching. You should do this." I started teaching adjunct for Lawrence Tech. She convinced me to get my doctorate, and it just started growing from there. And I can't thank her enough. Dr. Jackie Stavros, she's something.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, how'd you make your way to Wayne State?
One of the former professors there, who was in the doctorate program at Lawrence Tech, got a job at Michigan State in their supply chain. So he called me. I was up at Central Michigan, and Mike, and he said, "Would you think about coming down to Wayne State?" I'm like, well, let's see. I got a 2.5-hour commute to Mount Pleasant. I got to rent an apartment. I could have a 25-minute commute and stay home. Yeah, I'd be interested.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Dr. Taylor called me and talked my ear off. And I was sold at that point. And came down, met a lot of people. They gave a couple of presentations and was at lunch with John. And I said, "So how many more people you got to interview? When you're going to make a decision?" He goes, "I made a decision when I talked to you."
Nice.
Job is yours unless HR tells me I have to interview more people. Goes,
okay.
Pass the background check and you're fine.
Oh yeah, they didn't want to do that background check.
Yeah. And I said, "Well, I don't think there's anything out there, but I had a security clearance at one point, so I think I'm good."
Okay.
But yeah, it was looking at it now, it was the best move I made. Love the people up at Central in the College of Management, but this was a great move. Not just for travel, but the program is great. We're in the top 25 in the country. So I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, you're a real business school.
Yeah.
You're like in the top 200. Man, y'all don't know nothing. Well, you say top 50, top 30, top 20. I'm like, oh, okay. You can mess with Harvard, all them big dogs. Like, we're big dog too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give you the game.
Our supply chain program, I would put it up against anybody. There's bigger schools out there. You can go to Michigan State, and it is a great school. But you come to Wayne State, class sizes are smaller. You get more one-on-one with the professors, and we will help you. We will help you get an internship. We will help you interview with companies and bring them in and have them talk to you.
Yeah.
So we do a really great job of setting people up for success.
Then y'all bring people in that's actually in the field being successful, where you can ask them questions like, okay, how you do that? How did you do that? How do you do that? And they will not get tired of you. Because I know every time they did it, the Campbell dude coming up here, I didn't know how you got that money.
Yeah.
I got questions.
Oh,
how
yeah.
you do the culture? How you do this? How you do that? How you do that?
Yeah. We have our advisory board. A lot of great people on that. They help us guide the program. They tell us when we need to change things.
Okay.
And they are really supportive of the students. And I mean, you had me in class. You know me.
Man, you the truth.
I will help you. I will do everything I can to see that you succeed. Now, I expect you to do your part in that, but I will help you get that next step. I will, I'll do anything to help you along that path.
I used to tell people, if you fail this man class, you a slacker. What you say that for, Jeff? Dude, a lot of teachers don't give you a study guide, and the test is the study guide. They put a flim-flam on you. Or something that you didn't study. Everything he told you is word and everything line up.
Yeah.
You fail, you're a slacker.
Yeah. Well, it's, I could do stuff like that, but it's too much work.
Man, I had a teacher do that. Man, 1,500. We all got like a D or F on the second test. Like, dude, we ain't covered that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, man, you play with my life. We're going to jump you. You better cut it out.
Yeah.
If you talk to chapter 5, that better be on the test next week. Don't come with this chapter 7.
No.
We ain't talked about it.
I always tell you, you got to open the book, though.
Yeah.
You got to look at it, because I'm not going to tell you everything.
I mean, even that book we had to read, The Goal, was pretty cool.
Yes. And I haven't taught 3,600 in a few semesters, but the people who are teaching it now still use The Goal.
Yeah, that's a good book.
I have sucked them in.
And shout out to Professor Roger White, say hello. He's going to be a guest coming up in the next few weeks. Appreciate you tuning in. Now, what is an assistant professor of teaching?
The latest contract for the teaching union, they came up with new titles, and a lot of schools are going to this. If you're a tenure track professor, you're going to be an associate or an assistant professor. We're essentially professors. It's just we don't do research. We concentrate on teaching. So now you can be an assistant professor of teaching or an associate professor of teaching. And we're measured on service to the department, service to the school, the Mike Ilitch School of Business, and then we're measured on our teaching. All those little things that I used to tell you to fill out the set scores, and so I can get the feedback.
Yeah,
I know what I'm doing. And so we're measured on those two things. And if you want to go out and do research, you can. And there is a pathway so that you could become a full professor. At my stage in my career, I don't think I need it. So I will be happy with being an associate professor of teaching in next year or so.
Now, do they still have business students do a paper?
Yeah. I still make you write.
And I remember when we first had to do it, I forgot her name. But I asked, like, why we got to do a paper? We're in business school now. The fillers from the companies was coming back. Your students are doing business emails and documents like they're texting.
Yeah.
They forgot how to do basic grammar. Like, like you lying, like, no, they start naming off companies that she can remember that said. So we got to make sure you guys still know how to do papers.
Yeah.
The business way. I know LOL and all that. Because they're not gonna take you to their companies.
No.
If we keep having a reputation that y'all on some kindergarten stuff when it comes to papers and emails.
No, I give them discussion boards now.
Okay.
Put up a video. ask questions. And when I explain it at the beginning of the semester, you have to type this like you're writing somebody a letter. I don't want to see slang. I don't want to see acronyms. I want you to write it like you're trying to communicate an idea to somebody.
And that's so crazy.
Yeah.
That you got to do. You're in business school.
Yeah.
You got to know how to talk business.
Yeah.
What you doing here?
You know, I still see it with somebody writes me an email and I'm getting all kinds of LOLs and other things that I have no idea what they mean. So I usually reply back and it's like, put this in English so that I can understand what you want. But it's the generation of 5-second attention span.
Yeah, that is a thing now. And that's crazy. It's nothing you're trying to do is going to take 5 seconds.
No.
Now, you were on Flashpoint giving your expertise on the strike with UAW. How was that experience?
It was different because I had watched it a week or so before that, and they had just briefly mentioned the strike. And so I emailed the host, Devin Skillion, and I said, I know you get hundreds of these a day. However, if you want to talk the strike, the things people aren't thinking about is the supply base. And if it goes on a month and a half, 2 months, you're going to see suppliers go bankrupt. And I said, if you want to discuss that, I'm your guy. Attached my CV and said, give me a call.
Mm-hmm.
And that day, I got an email from the producer.
Okay.
Come down Friday afternoon and tape Flashpoint. I'm like, really?
Okay.
And she goes, yes, really, give me a call. So I called her and I go, this is real, right? She goes, I want you down. Devin looked at your CV, your resume, and he thinks he needs you. So I said, great, I'll be there. So put my best sport coat on and tie and went down there. And I think we had like 15 minutes and it was myself, guy, the head of the Detroit Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And a guy from, not the Free Press, the other one.
Okay.
Or writer, columnist.
Gotcha.
And we went back and forth about stuff. And if you've ever watched it, they have the main stage with all the stuff behind it.
Yeah.
Well, we're there and we're going to start taping, and thunderstorms and stuff were rolling in. So it all shifts to the weather and everything. So we go wait in the waiting room there, the green room, and we're sitting there waiting, figuring out what's going to go on. And the producer comes in. It's like, okay, we're going to go to the old studio. Like, okay. So we're just basically around this little table there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nothing behind you. Just kind of a blank wall. And
old school.
The one guy, Sandy from the Detroit Chamber, goes, yeah, you're getting a full effect here. But it was fun. It was interesting to be on TV. I made sure they got in Mike Ilitch School of Business.
There you go.
Global supply chain. And it was fun just talking about it. My wife said, okay, you can talk about anything, but you can't mention my company. I'm like, I wouldn't anyway, but okay. Mm-hmm. So the first time I'm on, went smooth, nothing. The only mistake she said I made was when he asked me about what I thought of Sean Fain. The only thing I said was, well, I see his point. not thinking I should have added anything to that, but she goes, "It sounded like you agree with him." I'm like, "I don't agree with him. I just see his point." He goes, "We need to say that."
I got you.
Okay, got it. And then about a week or so later, they invited me back to talk about some of the demands and what we were seeing in the supply base. And then he said, "What do you think about the 32-hour work week?" And I chuckled and I said, "My wife and I were actually discussing that the other night." And her comment was, "Last time I checked, we're not in France." And the whole studio cracked up, even him. So they had to stop, and then they had to reshoot it. And they're restarting. He goes, okay. Everybody knows what's coming. But I got home. It plays on Sunday.
Mhm.
And I didn't watch it live or anything.
Gotcha.
But apparently everybody my wife works with watched it. And she got so much crap
Wow.
about just teasing her about the comment. She came home that Monday night and it's like, okay, now you can't mention me. It was funny because she worked for a German company. So,
Oh man. Yeah, that's
was,
something people are thinking about supply chain with that
yeah,
strike at the time.
it was, you've had a few suppliers declare bankruptcy after that. The one out in Auburn Hills, it was a seating supplier for somebody.
Okay.
They declared bankruptcy, but they had been in trouble before the strike. GM and Stellantis had bailed them out for a while. So they were having problems anyway. That just kind of put them over the edge. And then there's been a couple of smaller suppliers that have declared, but with them, the margins are so thin. If you're making 1%, you're doing good. And then you have some hiccups and you can't recover from it. And most of those tier 2 and tier 3s are small. They may be family owned and they can't survive. So that was kind of the fallout of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of people to make whichever part that are smaller companies that go within that chain.
Yeah.
Get that tit on to put on that vehicle. And you start striking a lot, that ripple effect ain't no joke.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it is going to be interesting to see how this whole thing shakes out toward with him trying to organize Toyota and all of them. So
okay. Now, what's your opinion on the global supply chain for the country right now?
There are still some, I don't know how to describe it. There's some hiccups out there. There's some stuff going on that a lot of people don't think about. The Panama Canal, they expanded, which is great because bigger ships can go through. The problem is there's a drought. And so they have that artificial lake down there they use to raise and lower the ships going through. Now they have to limit how many ships can go through and the weight and draft of the ship because they're running out of water.
Where we get artificial water from?
It's an artificial lake. So they just pump water in there.
Okay.
But because of the drought down there, they don't have enough water. So you have that. You then have all the turmoil over in the Middle East.
Yeah.
So now ships are being rerouted around the Red Sea. So they're not going through the Suez Canal. And they're taking the long way around South Africa, which I think is the Cape of Good Hope, something like that. But That's then adding costs. Then you say, okay, we'll go into Long Beach and LA, which they're better prepared for it than they were the last time during the pandemic. But you have these little things that start adding up. The chip shortage for the auto industry is kind of under control now.
Okay, I remember that.
But then you start looking at where we get all of these, and the main supplier is Taiwan. So you have all the turmoil in that part of the world. So you've got companies now investing in chip manufacturing here in the States.
They didn't Governor Whitmer do something about us building stuff here?
Yeah, the government has poured a lot of money into it. It's just going to take time.
Okay.
To get a plant built and up and running is around 5 to 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Just to get everything there, you get people trained, you're looking at a 5-year timeline.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't really, since we outsource everything, we don't really have industries here that we make it all here.
It is, the pandemic has changed some of that. One of the things that's happened that has driven companies to essentially map their entire supply chain, so they know who every supplier is and where they're located. It is not an easy thing to do, but in order to identify all the risk you've got out there, companies are having to do it because they know where the tier ones are.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy. But they depend on the tier ones to start managing those lower levels, and they lose sight of that. So now they have to go in and they have to start figuring out where all these places are.
Yeah, that's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
Somebody probably was upset, like, hey, we got to do it now. But this, hey, find them all, because the world's changed, and we know if we ever have another problem like COVID, we know where everything at, so we ain't scrambling.
Yeah. Well, it's like during COVID. I mean, I read a lot about supply chain. I study it. Did not know 90% of our over-the-counter drugs came from China and India. It's like, okay, that probably wasn't a good decision.
We had that tariff war for a while with them.
Oh, yeah. They've rolled some of that back, but they haven't rolled all of it back. And there was a article in the L.A. Times. It was probably like 2 or 3 years ago when Biden got elected. And inflation was just starting to kind of creep up.
Mm-hmm.
And they estimated that if you rolled the tariffs back, there would be a 5% immediate reduction in inflation, which 5% is not huge. However, it would probably spill over into other things.
Now, Professor Roger White has a question. Is cyber risk involved in the risk factors?
Definitely. It is. Companies are looking more and more at that and realizing the problems. I mean, I have gotten 2 or 3 letters over the last 2 weeks from companies that handle medical data for Beaumont and a couple of the other ones that they had a security breach.
Ooh.
And the last one I got was today was, we saw this unusual activity back in July, and we're notifying you now. I'm like, wait a minute. July?
You just doing something now? It's almost a year.
I mean, I have the LifeLock and a bunch of other stuff to manage a lot of that. So I called them about a week ago and said, I got this letter. And the person on the other end is like, okay, we know about that. And she was running through things and she goes, we don't see anything out there. but we'll keep monitoring it. We know you've been involved in this, so they run special programs and stuff and try to make sure that your things are there. That caused me to go through and change passwords, make sure I had double authentication with all of it. But you think about, that's just me. What about a company? And, they get hit by a cyber attack. The pipeline a few years ago, they had to shut down.
Yep, I remember Target got hit a few Christmases ago.
Yeah. So it's one of these things that it's a never-ending battle. And that now has to be factored into your risk assessment. And, you've got suppliers that are electronically tethered to you. If they have a data breach, is that going to affect you? And, where are these firewalls and how do you prevent it? I mean, Wayne State, we have to go through security training every year. You just had to go through that in December. And, you get an email and it doesn't look right. You should look at these things and all of this stuff. And
I remember that when I was still getting my degree. My thing was, whenever they had them talks, maybe I'm a old school dinosaur. If you get an email from someone saying stuff that is just too good to be true, why are you gonna click on it?
Yeah.
You click on this, you're gonna win $5,000. The only thing free is Jesus or whatever God you claim.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody giving $5,000 away.
That's when I look at stuff like that, it's like, why would you do that? And then I get an email. I teach a class for this university over in Poland that we have, Wayne State and us have a long-standing relationship. And I'll get emails from these kids every once in a while. And I have to really, really look at it. And then I have a list of the students. So I usually pop it against the list and say, okay, recognize this one. But I never open a file from them.
Yeah, and people do it. People call you. Oh, someone stole this. Now we just need your information. Like, no, I don't know you. Stranger danger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You trying to get it right now? No.
I love
you've been breached. Just click here to log in. I ain't logging in nothing.
I love the ones that call me and tell me that they're going to send the U.S. Marshals over because there's a warrant out for my arrest.
You're gonna be sued if you don't like. Well, we're knocking that door. You for real? Until then, I'm stranger danger. I don't know you.
Yeah.
But at least there you got. Shout out to the cybersecurity people out here that's working to block the people doing that, because everybody that's in the criminal world getting just as savvy as the people doing right.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Data breaches. Do you have anything you want to promote or market you got going
on? Wayne State, Mike Ilitch School of Business. We've got a new dean that is really getting us on the path. Enrollment was up last semester.
Nice.
So we're doing some great things. And I would really like to reach out to the high school students in Detroit. You may not think you can go to college, but you can. And there are programs and there are scholarships and there are all kinds of stuff that we can do to help you. And just give us a chance. And that really goes for all the high school students out there. We're a great university, even if you don't want to come and schedule and study business. There's a great bunch of colleges down there and departments in that university on the main campus that will get you on a path, will help you succeed, no matter what you want to do. And we're more than happy to talk to you down at the business school. Academic advising, student services. They'll talk to you. They'll show you the place. And I can't encourage people enough to try, even if they don't think they can do it. We will help you to get through. And you can testify to that.
Oh, hey, that career service. Shout out to, I believe, Kimberly Swisher. We did the interviews to get me prepared. It came in through the clutch when I did get the job. SBM.
They are really understaffed, and they do a heck of a job.
Oh, there's like 3 of them, something like that, when I was there.
There's not many more of them than that now. We're trying to find, I think the dean's trying to get money to hire another one. But
they're awesome. So I didn't know what a big interview was. Like, going there, you gotta know that star system. Like, who?
Yeah.
Like, okay, the world will change. I figure out. And we did like about 5 or 6 until I was on point. Like,
we just had GM in last week doing mock interviews. So
nice.
we will try everything we can to make you a success. And that's why I got into it. That's why I started teaching. And you know, you have to put up with the BS, and there's times that you wonder why the heck you do it.
Well,
and then I get an email from somebody who was a student 2 or 3 years ago telling me, I was in a meeting today, we were talking about this, I remembered when you talked about it in class, I was able to add to the conversation, and you made me look so good at that point. And I'm like, okay, that's why I do it. You get 1 or 2 of those a year, and it makes my day every time.
I mean, every day I'm at work, all of you guys at Ilitch that taught me. I didn't think I remember a lot of that stuff. I be in there working, like, okay, you in leadership role. Oh, wow, they just said it. Huh. Yeah. You actually, all that stuff is up there they taught you. Mm-hmm. Nice. Every day I use it.
Yep.
I didn't remember all that stuff. Real. Ilitch will teach you the game.
Yep. Oh, we will.
And they put you on the team for the marketing, man. You're doing a great job marketing Warrior Strong up in here, baby.
Hey, I tell you, you will see billboards now around with Wayne State and Ilitch.
I need some more gear.
Media presence. The Global Supply Chain Department has an Instagram page. We have a Facebook account. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Twitter. Well, X.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Elon, X.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to get our name out there. And we've got a new marketing person, and she is really doing a lot of neat things.
Yeah, I need to interview the dean of Mike Ilitch. I need to get her on here.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know what? You get in touch with Virginia, she probably will do it.
Her name Virginia what? Is she on LinkedIn?
Virginia Kleist.
How you spell the last name?
Kliest.
Okay. I thought I was crazy. Like, that sounded like, but I was right. Okay. Yeah. I'm reach out to her. Have you met the new president of the university? Trying to get her on the show too.
Briefly. We were having an event.
She'd be out there in the Wayne State streets, and I'm seeing her page.
Oh, yeah. We were out at an event, the Spring Bash or something. It's down on the main campus.
Okay.
Where all the schools and the organizations get together and kids can walk through and everything. And she was walking through. And I was down there. Gary from the management department was down there.
Okay.
Oh, and Christine from the department chair for management. We're all down there just going nuts as we usually do. Grabbing kids, talking to them, handing out stuff. And she walked by and she stopped and talked to us for about 10 minutes because she just loved our enthusiasm and could not believe we were down there on a Sunday. I'm like, hey, this is what we do.
Yeah.
We go out and we talk to the students and we want to see them. And I think we had 2 or 3 that took cards and stuff and registered. So you go.
It's Ilitch is a family vibe when I'd be on the third floor getting my nap in. So I've been at work 5 or 6 in the morning. Before class started at 6 that night. And people I may have before a teacher like, Jeff, what time class start? I got another hour. I set my alarm. All right, don't be late. Like, I won't. It's right down the hall. I need to get this nap in so I can pay attention.
Yep.
So I gotta get this piece of paper, man. I need options. I'm mad at cleaning because they paying for college, but I need options.
Yep.
And man, the stuff you learn, it really open your mind up to see the big picture.
That's why I have you write in a reflective learning paper at the end of the semester to reflect back on what we've talked about. Did you learn anything? Did we talk about something that you had never thought of before and it changed your opinion on something because now you have the information? And that's one of the reasons I do that, is to have you reflect back and think about, man, we came all this way from this little discussion on operations, on supply chain, to where we've gotten now.
Absolutely.
And I didn't understand any of that before, and that everybody has a supply chain. Wow.
Yeah. I remember one of my last capstone classes, we had to interview 20 people, and they had to write a video what they thought of you. I was blown away by what some people said that I never thought they looked at me that way. They're watching what I was working towards, like, wow. And they asked, right, like, what did you think? Like, humbling. I didn't think I was making impact on people's lives out here like that.
And I read the comments when you guys fill out the student evaluations, and the comments I get back, and I'm like, wow.
Oh yeah.
I'm that big of an influence on somebody?
Oh yeah, you're the truth, man.
I'm a role model? They didn't know I was a role model. That never occurred to me.
That was spoken to me after I got my degree in the mail, and I posted on LinkedIn. I never knew what a LinkedIn was, so I had to make it up for the business class I had before.
Yeah.
And someone reached out, shout out to Chris Mattoon, Detroit author, like, you're a role model because you might inspire people to get on their path. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know about no path, man. And all that got me to doing this, like, you couldn't tell me I'm doing this. Let alone the people I'll be interviewing. I mean, it's an honor to interview a former teacher. That's like awesome.
I appreciate it.
For real. I appreciate you, brother. What has been your biggest challenge on your journey?
I never thought the journey would be here. My dad was in the Navy for 30 years. And from the age of like 5, that was going to be my career path.
Okay.
I was going to go in the Navy, and I was going to make a career of it. 10 years old, I get diagnosed with diabetes. Dream goes away. And it took a while to find that path again. And when I got my degree from Arizona State, I went into business, and I thought, this is the path. I followed that path for 20 some years. And then I realized that this isn't all that cracks up to be. And somebody told me I was good at something. And I said, okay, let's try it. And that's led me to this point. And I couldn't be happier. I feel more fulfilled now than all the success I had those 20, 25 years in business. Just because of the people that I have encountered. The lives that I have touched and influenced. And I always joke that I do it for free. Okay, maybe not for free, but I do get a lot of satisfaction out of the people I come in contact, the students, the teachers, my colleagues, people in professional societies that I meet all the time. It just has, it's hard to describe. It's just, it has made me a better person just from all the people that I have influenced and that have influenced me.
Yeah, it's different to find your purpose.
Yeah. And you know, watching you guys in class, watching you walk out, go into the business world and be successful. I don't know how many of the students I have who have gone on to win best and brightest 25 and under, and even best and brightest 30 and under. So I see you guys come through, and a lot of times I see you come back to get your master's, and I see you come back to interview students from where you're working now, and I just see that it gets paid forward. And people don't believe that. They don't. It's like, oh yeah, you say pay it forward, but it happens.
It's real.
It is real.
I try to do it all the time.
Mhm.
People looked out for me.
Yeah.
I never take myself serious because some guess, man, the titles people have, like, they just titles.
Yeah.
Everybody started somewhere. And your story might spark somebody to get on their path.
Yeah.
So every story is powerful.
Yeah, it is. And I have had people in my life that have inspired me. I mentioned Dr. Jackie Stavros over at Lawrence Tech. If I had never met her, I probably would not be here now. I would be doing something else and probably be happy, but I don't think as happy as I am now. And at least as fulfilled that I feel now.
I feel you on that. If it wasn't, I can't remember that teacher name in high school at Cooley, but she was an English teacher. I wrote a paper, and she's like, you need to be on the school paper. And that's the only journalism I call upon in doing this.
Yeah.
From freshman year. But she was like, no, I need you over here doing. And I wrote one article that everybody liked, interview Isaiah Thomas once at the Palace.
Mm-hmm.
The journalist stuff pretty cool. Never thought I would ever call back on that stuff ever. Like, what do you mean? Interview people finding purpose. I'm not the purpose Moses. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how you go about doing that. Like, so get out tomorrow, figure it out. Okay, God tell you to do something, better do it.
Yeah.
I don't want no smoke. And then I get back from people telling me, like, man, that impacted me, the episode I watched.
Mm-hmm.
Or the fact that the stuff you posted that's inspirational. I was in a dark place, and that gave me hope that there is still hope out here. I'm like, wow, you really are impacting people. You can't be good jabbing out here, but you got to be for real, whatever you're doing, because people are watching you. So what they watching?
That was during the pandemic when we had to pivot to go online. I still taught the same way. I still tried to get you enthusiastic about it and stayed enthusiastic myself. Then when I started reading the reflective learning essays at the end of the semester, there were a lot of students that were struggling. And I reached out to each one of them and said, let's talk. This, you know, I know you want to give up. Don't give up. There is an end. You will get there. And 2 or 3 of them called me later and said, thank you. I was going to quit. I was going to give up. You told me not to. I didn't. And now I have my degree. So sometimes it just takes a kind word, a little encouragement, and that sets people on the right path.
Because our capstone teachers, they would do a wellness check before class. And I got to the point I could touch my degree.
Mm-hmm.
So when it got to me, Jeff, how you feeling? Like, man, I'm telling y'all right now, I don't care if the damn planet blow up. We getting our degree.
Mm-hmm.
You can touch it. It's right there.
Yeah.
Blow the planet up after we get our degree. And
Mm-hmm.
we see where we go from that point. But we too close. And like, you know what, you're right, Jeff. Like, dude, we can look at it. We at the end of the road at Boys and Men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what the hell going on in the planet. We gotta get that paper.
Yeah.
We too close. I ain't trying to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of all these projects.
I know.
And we start having more of a, man, let's get it. Let's finish this thing. Let's go hard. Let's finish strong.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, man, people die, this now. Like, I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
But we too close.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I never thought about it. Like, man, I get 18 classes. Oh my God.
And that's what I told them. It's like, you are close. You cannot give up now.
You ain't got no more classes left, Jeff. You got August. What? It's July. Oh my God. Yeah. I can fingertips. Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
Let's go.
It's there. You can reach it. You can see it.
Yes.
You gotta get it.
Best feeling look on that since they got that progress board, 100% completed, like you finished it. Took you a long time. You dropped out, went back, but you're done.
Yeah.
And it sit on my mantle, like my world title. A lot of hard work. That boy right there. So anything I start on, you did that, you can do anything, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because Wayne State is an experience.
Yes, it is.
Especially back in the day when you get a hold on your record, like, what's this? Let me go find out. You shouldn't have a hold. Like, can you take it off, please, so I can register?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They got better, way better from the 90s. Way better. They got better. Where it's more easier to be in and out with your enrollment. So these new people don't understand that struggle that way. You know, they start taking away math requirements. I'm hating for like 2 seconds right now. I'm like, wait, why I gotta go through all that math and I ain't gotta do it? Well, you got accounting and finance, Jeff. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They need some math classes too. It'll toughen you up.
Yeah, well.
I'm like, this is some garbage. They're gonna have a cakewalk to a degree. This ain't fair. Like, just stop being mad. Like, nope. 2 seconds. I need to be mad because I had to redo the 09-3 because it was years after I took it.
Yeah.
Like, what the world? But it helped.
Yes, it does.
So your path is your path. Now, in your words, what has been your impact in the community?
That's tough. If it depends on how you define community. If we're talking community of Wayne State, I'd like to think I had a positive impact on a lot of people. And I hope that I've made a difference in somebody's life, a positive impact, and gave them a path that they can pursue, and showed them that there is a lot of ways to go through this world, and you can choose that path, and you can choose how you want to get there.
Well, I definitely believe you've done that. Because I actually was locked into that book to go because I want to see how it ended.
Oh, I know.
You read that book?
Like
yeah.
Read.
I started reading and I can't stop. Like, how does crap end? I gotta know.
Yeah. I told you you'd get hooked and you couldn't put it down.
Nope, I could not. And I'm like, well, if you're gonna have a company, you need to know I know supply chain. So ask, hey, this is in the news. What you think about that? Like, okay. So when you get your company up and running, keep in mind supply chain, that can't falter.
That's right.
That's like your oil change. You can't have that problem. You got a big problem. They say, hey, supply chain stopping. Whoa. What you mean we stopping? I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Now it's time for that Yoda game question. I ask everybody. So hopefully I made people comfortable, relax, share their story, and get this awesome advice for what advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're lost, you don't know where you want to turn, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. because there is always somebody out there that is willing to help you, whether it's a friend, whether it's a pastor, whether it's a teacher. There's somebody there that will take an interest in you, and that will help you. And I have found that in my life, that when I didn't know where to turn, there was usually somebody out there that was willing to lend an ear, listen to me. And maybe I didn't need advice. Maybe I just needed somebody to listen and say, I understand. Maybe you should try this. And, sometimes it was my father. Other times it was somebody at work. And there was usually somebody that would say, yeah, you can do that. Shouldn't try to even think you can't. Go out and try it. Worst thing that can happen, you fail. You get back up, you learn from it, and you move forward.
That's true. Great advice. So, how was this experience on the podcast?
Hey, I loved it.
Awesome.
Loved it.
First time?
I used to have a problem talking about myself.
No.
As I've aged, I don't seem to have that problem anymore.
So I'm achieved status with my tagline where we treat you like family. Make you feel comfortable.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. It's been a blast to talk to a former teacher. See, you still doing awesome. Had to come back down there, Wayne, just see what the camps look like. I ain't been there in a minute.
Hey, it is changing.
Oh man.
The growth around the Ilitch school, they've got open those condos that were right next to the parking garage.
Oh wow.
So I actually went and looked at them. They are amazing.
Wow.
And,
okay.
It's other stuff that's popping up around the neighborhood. There's other things going on. I remember when we moved up here in 2000 that we would go downtown for a show. We'd go downtown for a game, and then we'd come home. But now it's more of an event. You come down, you have dinner.
It's everything going on downtown now.
You see a show, you see a ball game, and it's more of now a destination. And you want to go down, and you want to see stuff, and you want to see what's going on.
And it's lit up too everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, do they got a food place inside of Ilitch yet?
Yes, they do.
Nice.
They've got a little cafe. It's called 14 East. It's right on the corner down there in the business school, and she does a great job. I usually pack my lunch, bring it in. I forgot. I went down there. She had a soup special. She has a great vegetarian chili, and I would never thought I would say that. It's fantastic. So they do a good job, and they have some of the students working there, so it works out.
Yeah, because that was the only thing that I looked at. They put a food spot in here. They're gonna save money because these students got money in their pocket. They ain't gotta go nowhere to eat. They stay here and eat.
They do.
Because that's why you're leaving out, because the vending machine only gonna do so much.
Yeah.
But
no, that was somebody the other day. I was walking in, and one of the students is like, "Where are the vending machines?" I said, "They're right there." And she's like, "Oh," and she walked back there, and I was talking to one of the other students, and she came back out, and I'm like, "Didn't find anything?" "Yeah, no, there was nothing." I said, "Walk down there, go past the security desk, hang a right. There's a little restaurant down there. You'll find something." Saw her later in the day. She's like, "You're right. I had a sandwich. It was great." So, yeah, they finally found something in there that would stick. She has been there. She lasts through the pandemic,
Okay, awesome.
through the summer, because we've got that building that went up between us and the arena.
Yeah, what's the building right there?
It's only like 4 stories. Boston Consulting's in there. I think there's a law firm in there, but there's a couple other places in there, and she draws from them. And she stays open till about 6:30 or so usually.
Okay.
So if there's something going on at the arena, she'll get some people coming in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Former guest Shalana, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, that was the only thing that was an issue. Like, they get that in here, they on point. Because you got everything else around you when it get warm. But you need some grub.
Yeah.
You got to go to class. I know if he's working there and you going to school, like, man, dang, let me grab something before I go down to Ilitch. Like, oh, I got food there now. Cool.
Yeah.
I can go in there. Ain't got to rush now. Just get down there. Keep it moving. Which is awesome. I definitely thank you for sharing your story. Help others find their purpose. And it's always great to talk to a fellow Wayne State alum.
Yeah.
It's always a great
story. Not an alum, a professor.
Yes, you're a professor.
So, but I guess you could call me kind of an alum.
Yeah, you factor as both.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank Wayne State University, Mike Ilitch School of Business, Assistant Professor of Teaching, and my former Global Supply Chain Professor, Dr. Jeff Rightmer, for sharing the story on this cold Saturday night in Michigan. Well, the Lions play tomorrow, though, baby.
That's right.
Still pull it off. And they still going to be downtown.
That's right. They are.
God bless them. That's too cold. I can't do it. Wayne Community Engagement. What's this? You heard this?
No, I haven't.
Wayne State University Community Engagement. That's new. Yeah, it's cold everywhere.
Yes, it is.
So I hope you enjoy your night. Hope everybody else enjoy their night and be safe. Feel free to share the episode or rewatch it. Talk about it. Till next time, everybody. Oh, she said wrong college. Awesome.
Detroit raised me. Detroit.